serving as our archive records room, and the moisture from that indoor system, it doesn't help maintaining the integrity of the paper that's in that room. It degrades pretty quickly. And we've had some problems with that over the years. That's been well publicized, so there's no need to go into those problems. Any other questions?
Just one other thing I'd like to say, you know, when this building was built, we had 10 employees. Now we have 40, so you can see what the...
I had a question on that. How many, oh, I'm sorry, how many here at any one time in the building?
Well, we can have anywhere from a duty shift consisting of 8 people to 15 or 20. It depends upon the circumstances, but we can have on an average 8, and then you can have you know, callbacks. People come to court, people go to training. So there's always people.
If you have an emergency or something like that, then you have a lot more.
But on an hour-by-hour basis, there could be anywhere from 4 or 5 people in the building to a dozen.
Now, if you want to have all your officers come in for an emergency, let's say there's some kind of a town emergency where you need all personnel, is there anywhere to gather them together and instruct them, like a briefing room or anything like that?
We used to be able to use the garage downstairs, but you can see where we had to put the lockers in there, so it's pretty tight for doing that.
So there's nowhere in the case
really
of an emergency, there's nowhere to brief your employees in how a course of action as to what they should do to...
Well, there's 30 you people, so
right.
If we had 30 of them in the front, that's how we would brief them.
Okay.
We'd have to use another facility such as under the library or...
Oh, the library.
We currently use the library for training. But we are no different from any other group in North Reading, such as the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or the Bookworms or any other group that may want to use those rooms. You know, we fall into a first come, first serve.
Oh, you'll have to pay for them then.
Yeah.
Be very careful. I only have to put
Yeah,
up
so we're in competition for space like everybody else in town.
I think just this meeting here tonight is indicative as to what the police department, the conditions that they're working under in relation to just the sheer space needs. It's obviously inadequate. And I think this is what we wanted to highlight this evening for anybody who wants to come through and anybody who wants to watch. You know, the basic physical plan and the basic needs of the department can't be met here. This particular site unless there's some sort of substantial renovation to this building or addition, which has a whole host of other factual issues associated with that, or a new facility. And again, F.U.M.P. in their deliberations have determined that the best course of action from a cost standpoint and from a standpoint of moving forward and looking forward for a couple of generations worth would be a new physical plant located behind the Murphy Center of the Town Hall. Again, as far as the use of this particular facility, once it's vacated, which is about maybe 25–30% of the public safety building itself, would be turned over to the fire department. And I know Chief O'Brien is around here somewhere, and he can indicate to you what the uses would be. I think he's probably upstairs, so I don't think he expected us to meet down here in the police officer's gymnasium to hold court.
Square footage you got here.
So
This is approximately 6,000 square feet, the downstairs and upstairs.
Including the garage?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about livable space. Livable space, what's your square footage?
Well, I'd say it's probably around 3,000. It's half the facility.
and the new
for 40 people.
The new facility proposed is how many square feet?
It's around 18,000 to 20,000.
You realize most of the homes in this town have more than 3,000 square feet for 4 people?
Yes.
Okay. We're looking at 3,000 square feet for 40 people. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we consider that to be habitable conditions?
No, we don't.
We don't.
No.
That's why the proposal's being put forward. And the F.U.M.P.
I know it's a proposal. It's not anything until it's passed. That's what I'm saying is.
That's true. So maybe if we move back upstairs and then.
You know, while we're all here, I'd like to thank all the interested citizens for coming out. This is actually overwhelming. I've never seen such a response all at once come through this building. So it's greatly appreciated by the chief and myself and the members of the department. So thank you for taking the time of your busy schedules and on this evening when the Red Sox are playing to come and visit us at the North Reading Police Station.
Thank you. Thank you.
Democrats.
Okay.
What we're going to have is Chief Ed O'Brien will explain once this particular facility becomes available, when the new police station is built, this particular square footage would then become available to the fire department, and Chief O'Brien will explain what the usage of the additional space would be for and how they could utilize it. Chief O'Brien.
Essentially, what you're looking at here is if you remember the outside of the building, it has a pitched roof over about the front third to about half of the building. This floor space then actually can be used as open. Any one of these walls are not what they call weight-bearing walls. So it's basically an open floor plan we could manipulate. And what I would see is, and it depends on there's other things interfacing here, but if the 911 center and/or dispatch were ever to be combined in or stay here, that could certainly be moved down back into a more secured, or as Lieutenant Nolan's pointed out, a hardened area that can be secured. Essentially, the rest of this area will be used for administrative use. We can move the captains, the deputies, myself into this area. We just need one opening to go back and forth to the apparatus area. That can be left over there. The floor plan on that side can be used for records keeping. And the area that we're using now for administrative area can be opened up into one large room for training facility, which we currently use the library, large room down cellar. That would be also double and triple up for plans, or large meetings with corporations and so forth that we need a big area, which oftentimes is the case. We're pretty crowded where we're in. I think we have like 8 seats around a table in my office. The other thing is emergency management component. We virtually have none. We operate it more or less in each other's back pockets. This would give us an area that we have a day-long or a week-long event, flooding and so forth, which is a fairly regular basis in the community. And the other potential we have, which of course is huge, is hazardous materials. And that would allow us to be able to manage that as a double or triple up in that room. But essentially this area you would see we could just simply open it up, get a more open space. Public would come in, be greeted by the fire department secretary, more like a business. Deputy and captains and myself would be more available to interface with the public, using the back for more private areas as far as personnel records, et cetera, et cetera. The downstairs would be used to house our vehicles in bad weather. Would also be, keep them out of the side areas and so forth, keep the place open for public access. And one last part, which I think needs to be addressed, is the underside of the fire station apparatus areas, the public safety mechanic. Hopefully, in this whole jigsaw puzzle, that person would be able to move out of there and go to a facility that makes sense.
Can you just hang on 1 second? That's the 911 system.
To how you walk into the dispatch area in the police station, you do the same thing in the fire station. You're walking by 911 center, which is a transfer station to the police, from the police, where it comes into, to the secondary answering spots in the fire station. It's where we also dispatch, have our database, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's really not a space that's conducive for meeting the public. We're somewhat cordoned off like that, but you have to come out, get the people, bring them in through that area. It just doesn't really work out well. Again, remember something, this building was built in 1967. It worked back then. We're downstream quite a few years. As I started to mention before, the last part that has to really be thought out with this whole scheme is the public safety mechanic is downstairs in a very low ceiling, very cramped area to deal with all the police cars and all the fire department vehicles. And it's just really not really conducive to any sense of really good preventive maintenance program, repair programs and so forth. So that has to be addressed also. Other than that, that's about all I would have to say about this particular project at this time.
Thank you, Chief. We
Thanks.
appreciate you taking the time and letting the public know how we would utilize the facility. What we're going to do now is F.U.M.P is going to reconvene over at the school for a short time, and then we can all go home, I guess, and watch the end of the Red Sox game. Again, thank you very much. For those of you, if you want to join us over there, you're more than welcome. It's a public meeting.
I think it's closed.
You think it's closed? But okay.
You can see from here.
I'm not sure. But anyway, we want to thank you very much for coming, and if you have any questions, you will be getting more information through the transcript and I'm sure other means, over the next few weeks, and we look forward to any questions and comments that you may have. Feel free to contact any member of the, again, the Board of Selectmen or F.U.M.P. With any questions or comments. Thank you very much.